For centuries, the beam of a lighthouse has guided ships safely to their destination. But what if I told you that instead of sailing ships being guided to port, there are lighthouses that could guide alien ships directly to Earth? It sounds a little bit science fiction, but it's more likely than you'd think. Far out in the cosmos, there are these things called pulsar stars. After a giant supernova explosion, these stars remain incredibly dense. These are so dense that 1 teaspoon of this star's material weighs the same as every single person on Earth twice. Now, these dense stars are spinning hundreds of times per second, and as they spin, from the axis comes out jets of radio waves, just like a lighthouse. Now, in the 60s, in Cambridge, there was a radio telescope reading that looked like this, just a blip and a blip and a blip. And these blips were so regular, we didn't know where they came from. We thought that they might have been made by intelligent life. And so they were called the LGM signal, for little green men. Now, to understand where these came from, we'll go back to the lighthouse. So, our jets are coming out of our star that's spinning hundreds of times per second. If Earth happens to be in the beam of these jets, then we register a blip. And as they spin, we register more blips, getting that incredibly regular signal. It's so regular that we can actually time our clocks off of it. And in fact, there are pulsar clocks, and there's one in a church in Poland, for example. Now, where does the map come into this? So, we have made a map from these pulsar stars because every one spins with a characteristic frequency, meaning that if you know what the signal is, you know exactly which star it came from. So, we made a map that shows exactly where Earth is with respect to 14 of these pulsar stars. If you knew even a handful of these signals, you could find your way directly to Earth. So what did we do? We stuck this map onto the iconic Pioneer plaque, and we sent it out into space twice, on Pioneer 10 and 11, the space probes sent out in the 70s. These space probes are currently some of the farthest man-made objects from Earth. They're currently hurtling their way and will eventually leave the solar system and go on out into space. So what happens if somebody finds these plaques, I wonder? Well, we may someday find out. Thank you.
Okay, Finucane, everyone.